Rain presents challenges in construction, not only for the build process, but also the longevity of a structure. If you are building in a wet climate, here's 5 things that you need to watch out for and be aware of before you get started. So before we even get into the building process or how the building's going to perform once it's done, there's existing water on any given piece of ground. How it's going to travel across that ground, through a crawl space, any of those kind of things needs to be taken into account when you're designing a project. So good water management for grading, slopes on the lot, making sure stormwater is handled really well. That's super important. So your contractor needs to know how to build in a wet climate. Weather will certainly cause schedule delays if it's not dealt with properly. A contractor needs to understand which subs can work through the rain, which ones need to have some protection offered, and needs to have all of that folded into the schedule and the budget. Because if there's additional drying time, once the structure's up, that all needs to be laid out and planned for ahead of time rather than reacted to in the moment. Another crucial detail is some of the architectural detailing that goes into the exterior building envelope. So certainly siding materials, windows and doors that are selected, overhangs, making sure that you are protecting the building as much as possible. There are certainly some more modern, clean details that can be done in a wetter climate, but special attention needs to be paid to the drainage planes behind those systems, way more so than you would get in some of the southern climates. Design specific points. So the first one is allowing plenty of transition spaces as you're coming from exterior to interior. Here in Southwest Washington, we have 7 months of rain out of the year. So those 7 months, a lot of moisture gets brought from outside to inside on shoes and jackets, strollers. So having plenty of space for drying all of those things and having those spaces well ventilated, super important. So our final point here, in Southwest Washington, we don't have to take a ton of snow buildup, ice buildup into account. We don't get a lot of freezing weather here. But with the amount of overcast days and rain that we have, sunlight is super, super crucial. So really well-placed windows, make sure the house is oriented towards the sunlight. Skylights and solar tubes, those are super good tools for getting a lot of natural light into hallways and rooms kind of tucked back further into the home, like this one right here. If you have need of a design build firm in the Southwest Washington area, reach out. I'd love to have a chat on the phone, see if we would be a good fit for your project.